As most of us know, Japan has a long-spanning tradition and history in the art of artisanal denim manufacturing, but with the new resurgence of raw selvage denim coming into trend, there have been a lot of new brands that have come about in the denim space and kind of made raw denim their own in a very unique kind of way. But with that, raw selvage denim at its core still is a very timeless piece that should be appreciated in its minimalism and its everyday wearability, as well as its aging factor, its beautiful nature in terms of neutrality. You can wear it with basically anything. And besides the suit, it is literally the one garment in men's fashion that I can think of that has been malleable enough since its inception to be able to bob and weave through trend, not only having its own staying power, but also being able to be interpreted in many different ways. But I do want to stress that a majority of the Japanese denim manufacturers that are starting to come about in the most recent years have had long-standing tenures of experience, generational craft, and years and years and years of blood, sweat, and passion when it comes to creating raw denim jeans in Japan. And recently I was able to visit the heart place of what is Kojima Jeans Street, which is the home base or the headquarters of a majority of the raw selvage Japanese denim jeans that are available in the world. And it was an incredible experience. I actually have a whole section dedicated to it in my Japanese men's fashion and raw selvage denim documentary that is hopefully coming next month, and it was such an incredible experience. But today I want to talk about in specific one of the newest brands, if not the newest brand that I know of on Kojima Jeans Street and in the name of Japanese raw selvage denim manufacturing. And that brand in specific is Omoto Denim Jeans, or Omoto Denim Japan. And essentially Omoto is a brand that is dedicated to timeless elegance. It is a brand that is dedicated to minimalism in Japanese raw selvage denim, while also pushing the boundaries just a little bit to kind of incorporate certain trends, but still maintain that ideology of we want to make timeless garments that don't abide by trends. They appreciate them, but they don't abide by them. I actually was given the opportunity to visit and speak to the founder and owner of Omoto Denim, being Hiroki Kishimoto-san, and Kishimoto-san was such a true, kind gentleman who is very knowledgeable. And for those who don't know, Kishimoto-san actually started Japan Blue Jeans, which is one of the most famous Japanese raw selvage denim brands in circulation right now. But Omoto Denim seems to be his brainchild and seems to be his true passion, and showcases a very high level of refinement and years, almost 30 years of experience, I believe, in Japanese denim making. Now, Hiroki Kishimoto-san is a raw selvage denim jeans master, and the way that he designed is very, very meticulous. I love the very vibrant blue nature that his garments have, not just in his jeans, but also in his jackets and other indigo dyed products. It is a beautiful store, and if you go to Kojima Jeans Street, definitely make sure to visit them. And a huge thank you to Mikio-san over at the Denim Lodge, which to my knowledge is the only Airbnb on Kojima Jeans Street, literally on the street itself, that you could stay in. I had the pleasure of staying there myself. The staff was so knowledgeable and helpful, especially Mikio-san, who got me introduced to Hiroki Kishimoto-san. Thank you both, but a very special thank you to Mikio-san, because without you, this video would not be possible. But anyways, all of that history and everything aside, recently I was able to get my hands on one of Omoto's newest raw selvage denim jeans, which is where these come in. These are the Omoto 15.5 ounce to 16 ounce, somewhere in between there, but they're 15.5 ounce Slub and Nep raw selvage denim, and I actually got them in their regular straight cut. And a lot of my viewers who are regulars are going to say, wow, that is probably a lot skinnier, or slimmer I should say, than what Alejandro usually wears. And yes, you're right, it is. This is probably as slim as I would go, but I do like these a lot, and I'll tell you why I went with this fit. The reason is because Omoto Denim at its heart, like I said, does not abide by trends. They want to make garments that are timeless classics, and I firmly believe that this fit strikes the perfect balance between slim and wider legs, which means that I'm going to hold on to these jeans legitimately as long as I can fit in them. And I wanted to do it right essentially when I got my first pair of Omoto denim jeans. I didn't want to go too trendy on either side when it comes to slim or baggy. I wanted to go right in the middle, much like the ideology of Hiroki Kishimoto-san himself. So that's why I went with this type of fit. I love the regular straight, but we'll talk about the fit in a little bit. But today, why don't we get into the details of the jeans. These, like I said, are the Slub X Nep Omoto denim jeans, and I really love the blue in this garment. And what's interesting about this fabric is not only is it super low tension woven, you can definitely see the streakiness and the hairiness of the garment. And the reason why I wanted to start off with the fabric itself is because this garment is dyed with 100% pure indigo. Now, a lot of people are probably saying, well, aren't all jeans dyed with pure indigo? Not necessarily. A lot of brands use, from what I understand, 95% or 90%. A lot of them will have over dyes, under dyes, additives, which give a different look to the jean, which is not a bad thing. I like them. One of my favorite examples being the Only Secret denims. But these are 100% pure indigo. I believe it's a synthetic indigo, which gives it a little bit more of an even color per se, and has a stronger blue and coats the yarn better. But this is a truly pitchy, still relatively vibrant, but very dark indigo. And Omoto denim, from what I understand, for the most part, they utilize a pure white core yarn. And what does that mean? Well, essentially, the indigo dye coats the yarn and doesn't penetrate the yarn. It just sits on top, which is why over time the dye will wash out and will wear out of the denim, and you'll start to get that fading factor. That's why denim fades. It is also a one wash unsanforized denim, which at this point I feel like is the Japanese denim standard. I feel like pretty much every brand is going towards that route now, and it's smart because it keeps that real denim textured, hairy, traditional look, textured, hairy, very rugged yet luxurious look to the denim, and it removes the shrinkage, so that's really good. And again, it brightens up the blue, which is something that I love. But yeah, moving on to the details of the Omoto regular straight Slubby Neppy denim in the 15.5 ounce, you will notice that the copper rivets that are used really have a pronounced nature to them, a very pronounced aesthetic or look, and they are traditional hammered on nipple rivets made out of copper. And because of the true shiny copper color and the real deep dark indigo that has that real pitchy nature, you are able to see these a lot more prominently in the entire look, which is an attention to detail that I love from Master Kishimoto-san. So you have the rivets on the front pockets, you also have the rivet on the coin pocket, and the coin pocket actually has the Selvedge ID treatment detailing on the side of the pocket, not just on the one side, which you will see on most raw Selvedge denim brands, but on both sides, which is really cool. It is still very minimalist, but you know, it just gives a little bit more Selvedge ID, which appeals to the denim nerd in me and to a lot of other people. Of course, on the inside, you also have the Selvedge ID treatment. It is a blue Selvedge ID on the inside, and we'll talk about the blue Selvedge ID and what I believe it means, if I'm not mistaken, later on. This is a 5-button fly, and essentially the regular straight model is a pretty true to the name straight higher rise jean. I love a higher rise jean, so of course with higher rises you're gonna have a lot more buttons to button the fly, and these are spaced out beautifully. There are subtle minimalist buttons that are unbranded, and then at the top you have the Made in Japan Omoto button, which is a detail that I really love. I'm not too partial to unbranded or branded buttons, although I do see the ideology behind it. You know, again, this jean just speaks timeless elegance and minimalism and rugged luxury. So that's why I really love this attention to detail. And you know, this fly is beautifully constructed. It's a really nicely made jean, and it feels very nice, not just in fabric, but in make. So these belt loops on Omoto's jeans, I noticed, are a little bit wider in terms of the width, not necessarily in length, but in the width, which is what I really like. I love to see this because I love a real nice big belt with a nice belt buckle, and sometimes with jeans that have very thin belt loops, it doesn't necessarily look as good. So I really appreciate this. And also, of course, the belt loop is roped, which is what you expect from most raw Selvedge denim brands, and of course that's going to fade beautifully over time. And these things are really sewn on there very well. I mean, again, they're not tucked into the waistband, but most denim brands really aren't these days, and dude, I mean, this thing is really sturdily on there. So yeah, I love that, and I'm excited to wear these with my nice thick Mexican belt that I have, and I love it. It works very well with big belts. So if you're a big belt dude, you're definitely gonna love these. Moving on to the inside, of course, nothing but cleanliness, nothing but artisanal make. I love the way that this looks. The bottom of the waistband, of course, is chain stitched, very minimal branding, which again, you know, speaks to the ideology of Omoto denim. And then you have the woven label on the inside over here. It says more wear, more wonderful, Japan made Omoto denim. And then you have their beautiful logo, which I really love. And you will see this quote a lot all over Omoto denim's branding. And it just speaks to not just Omoto, but the idea of denim itself. On the inside, you have hidden back pocket rivets, and you also have green bar tacks that you don't see on the other side of the jeans, which is a really nice detail. So the bar tack actually matches the color of the logo, which is really cool. And this is something that you only find from a denim brand who has an owner that is truly passionate about details. You don't see this type of refinement every day. And I love this attention to detail. I love that they did that, and it brands the jeans very nicely. The pocket bag is made from a herringbone twill, and on the inside of the left pocket bag, you have the laundry record, which is really cool because a lot of people like to date their jeans. I like to date them, and here you can actually write down the date, the wash method, and any other notes that you want to write down, or even repair notes. This is really cool. And again, that's true denim head stuff, and you can truly see that Hiroki Kishimoto-san is a master denim maker through his product, through his jeans. Moving on to the back, you have the Omoto denim patch, you have the lot number, and you actually have the size stamped in here, which you don't see on most jeans at all. I don't think I have any pair of jeans that actually writes down the lot number and the waist and length. Most denim makers skip that. Omoto denim actually did it. That's really cool. I didn't even know that they did that until now. Wow, I really, really appreciate that. That's so cool. It also says Japan made. And another thing that I really, really love is the white Omoto tag on the back right pocket. Of course, everybody is inspired by the Levi's red tab. This white tab from Omoto is a lot easier to wear in my opinion, and it's just a subtle nod to heritage while they're still making it their own. And of course, the Omoto label has their Omoto teal color, which is a color that I love, and I can't wait to wear these in and see how that's gonna stand out as the jeans fade over time. Other than that, there's no back pocket arcuates. You don't see the hidden buttons. You don't see the green bar tack really. I mean, maybe a little bit, but not that much. Again, it's a really nice detail. And then moving down to the bottom of the jeans. So going back to what I was saying about the Selvedge ID, I mean, of course you have the beautiful chain stitch on the hem, and you have a really solid overlock seam on the inseam. But talking about the Selvedge ID is a blue, or a relatively tealish blue. And the reason why they did that, from what I understand, I believe Hiroki Kishimoto-san told me himself that this is supposed to represent the color of natural indigo Farah dye. And for those who don't know, the indigo Farah dye, when it's first applied to clothing, it has a little bit of like a seafoam green color. It doesn't come out blue like you would traditionally think. It comes out seafoam green, and then as it oxidizes and you dip it over and over, it becomes this indigo blue that we come to know and love. And this is just a nod to that heritage. And you know, it's a simple, easily wearable Selvedge ID that doesn't conflict with any colors you're going to be wearing, and it keeps it neutral. So I love that. And of course you have this expertly done chain stitch. I'm not sure if they do chain stitching in store in Kojima. I'm pretty sure they do. If not, of course you can have anybody chain stitch them. But either way, when you first get these jeans, they are beautifully chain stitched, which means that you're going to get a really nice roping effect on the jeans, at least at the hem, as you wear it down and as you wash it. You will also notice that these jeans have a two-tone stitching, but they are not as contrasted or different as you will see on most jeans. These are pretty similar in terms of color. The yellow and the subtle orange colorway is very, very close, but it is still there just enough. Again, a small small attentions to detail, which I really love, and it makes this jean just simply easily wearable, not too complicated, but it is just luxurious minimalism, and that's the name of the game when it comes to Omoto denim. Now finally getting into the fit of the denim, which I'm sure everybody was waiting for. Essentially, this is the regular straight fit. I wanted to go with the most timeless of timelessness when it comes to Omoto Denim's jeans, and I couldn't be happier. I love the fact that the thigh has a pretty good amount of room, and it kind of allows it to come out and then come in and taper slightly. It feels very tailored, almost like a pair of dress pants, believe it or not. It does have a relatively narrow leg opening. The shape of the jean feels very tailored, and while it does have a pretty wide thigh, which is great because I run a lot and I have relatively bigger thighs, it tapers very nicely and it feels slim enough to be a straight. It is a lot slimmer than the jeans I have worn in years and years and years, but I like it, and there definitely is that timeless elegance to it. It doesn't feel skinny, it doesn't look skinny, it doesn't even look slim straight. It just looks like the perfect tailored straight fit, which is gonna work with blazers, it's gonna work with denim jackets, it's gonna work with just a t-shirt if you wear it tucked in. It's gonna work with basically anything, and again, it doesn't scream trends, it doesn't scream oversized, it doesn't scream wide, it doesn't scream super skinny, it doesn't scream slim. It has a real nice high rise, which I appreciate because it sucks in the gut a little bit, and it just gives a little bit more of that refined presence that I look for when I'm dressing, and presence that I look for in a raw Selvedge denim jean. This is the perfect straight fit for me, which is something that I've been searching for a while, because while I do love my wider and baggier silhouettes, I am cognizant of the fact that I might not always like wider and baggier silhouettes. I don't foresee myself ever going back to the super skinny fits, but I am cognizant that I will not always probably be into baggier fits. This is the jean that is going to carry me through all of those, through thick and thin, through slim, through oversized, through skinny, through whatever. This is the perfect fit, and I can't stress that enough. For reference, I am 6'1", 165 pounds, and I went with the 32. But yeah, guys, all in all, I love the Omoto denim jeans that I have. I also loved a lot of their other products in there. I hope to get my hands on the loose 13.5 ounce denims that they have, which is a blend between Memphis and Zimbabwean cotton, I believe, if I'm not mistaken. That one has a really vibrant blue, and that I really want to get my hands on. Hopefully I can, but either way, I'm super happy with these. So definitely check out Omoto Denim. I got these off of Okayama Denim, which is a great website. They ship very, very fast, and they also sent me some Halloween candy from Japan, which was really cool, and big shout out to them because I did not expect that at all. And again, they did not gift these to me. I paid my own money for these, much like I do with a lot of the products that I showcase on here, and I'm not just saying nice things just to say nice things. I paid good money for these, and I believe in the product, I believe in Omoto, and I believe in Hiroki Kishimoto-san, and I also believe in Okayama Denim. So definitely make sure to check out Omoto Denim on Okayama Denim and any of the other sites that I link in the description. These are a great pair of jeans, and I can't wait to see Omoto Denim grow into a huge denim brand, much like Japan Blue Jeans did, and hopefully I get to visit Hiroki Kishimoto-san again next year in Kojima, and definitely stay tuned for my Japanese men's fashion and raw denim documentary that is coming out, where Hiroki Kishimoto-san actually has an interview section, and we go through the entire store in Kojima Jeans Street, and it's just going to be a lot of fun. I am working so hard on that freaking thing, so I really hope you guys enjoy it. Thank you guys so much for everything, and thank you guys for 15K. This is insane. Again, I can't believe that with you guys' help, I've been able to facilitate this dream and make it over to Kojima. And the reason why this documentary is taking so long is because not only did these artisans from Japan, my friends and dare I say my family over there, trusted me with their products, their selection, with the way that they make, they trusted me to shoot over there, and they trusted me enough to host me when I went by myself to the countryside, which I had never been to in Japan. And you know, not just that, but I don't want to disappoint you guys, and I want to make sure that I can make it as perfect as possible. Again, it's literally only me working on it, and it is the hardest thing that I've ever had to do. But I hope you guys enjoy it. Definitely stay tuned for that. And with that being said, thank you guys again, and I'll see you next week.